Thank you for joining me for your weekly Trump report on the things that bother me. It's been another crazy week, so let's begin. Week of September 22nd through 28th, 2025. Good evening. This past week was one of spectacle, conflict, and projection of power. Donald Trump, now 8 months into his second term, used every available stage to show the world and the country that he remains the singular center of political gravity. From the global halls of the United Nations to the domestic brawls of television networks, from escalators stalling in Manhattan to lawsuits erupting in Oregon, the narrative was unmistakable. Trump is not simply reacting to events. He is engineering them, turning even malfunctions and mockery into platforms for control. Every day carried with it a fresh headline, sometimes a decree, sometimes a broadcast, sometimes a post on Truth Social amplified by millions. But behind every act, there was a deeper signal, an attempt to stretch the boundaries of presidential power, redefine the media's role, and test the patience of both allies and adversaries. Let's break down the week day by day. Monday, September 22, 2025. Trump action, signed an executive order designating Antifa a terrorist organization. Policy move, with RFK Jr., launched an autism initiative linking Tylenol and vaccines to developmental disorders, despite scientists' warning of shaky evidence. Social media, Trump posted triumphantly that his administration was going bold, where others feared, framing himself as the truth teller, against a corrupt medical establishment. What it means: this is Trump in full populist stride, setting up enemies, delegitimizing experts, and claiming sole ownership of truth. The Antifa designation signals potential new policing powers. The autism announcement courts controversy, designed to stir distrust in institutions and solidify his anti-establishment brand. Tuesday, September 23, 2025. Trump action addressed the UN General Assembly. He mocked foreign leaders, saying, "Your countries are going to hell," and rejected globalism in favor of raw nationalism. Incident: an escalator carrying him and Melania stalled inside the UN. Trump quickly called it sabotage and ordered an investigation. Social media posted clips of his UN speech with captions like "America First," "Always," and hinted that globalists tried to silence him even with broken machinery. What it means: theatrics and power projection. The UN appearance wasn't diplomacy, it was dominance. By blaming an escalator stall on sabotage, Trump turned a mundane mishap into another episode of conspiracy theater, feeding a narrative of persecution and resilience. Wednesday, September 24, 2025. Trump action doubled down on his UN message. Behind the scenes, reports circulated that his tone rattled traditional allies. Social media used Truth Social to blast ABC over Jimmy Kimmel's reinstated show, calling it a test and suggesting lawsuits were imminent. He also repeated that the UN was full of weak leaders who beg America but betray us. What it means: two fronts at once, international and domestic. Globally, Trump isolated America further from allies. Domestically, his attacks on ABC showed he is willing to treat media companies like enemy combatants. The message: whether in New York or in Hollywood, Trump demands loyalty. Thursday, September 25, 2025. Trump action kept pressure on networks and toyed publicly with legal threats against media outlets. Social media, Trump wrote that networks who defame, who hide the truth, will be held accountable. No direct mention of Kimmel, but a clear warning shot. What it means: Thursday wasn't about new moves but about reinforcing fear. He was telling networks and corporations that criticism could carry real, tangible risks. Friday, September 26, 2025. Trump action, domestically quiet, but news broke that Sinclair and Nexstar would stop blacking out Kimmel's show, effectively reversing their earlier boycott. Social media, Trump stayed mostly on message about immigration and law and order, declaring, "We are putting America back in control of its streets, its borders, and its culture." What it means, networks pushed back, but Trump's broader messaging was clear: culture and control remain his battlefield. Even when not posting about Kimmel, the undertone of whose voices are allowed dominated. Saturday, September 27, 2025. Trump action ordered 200 National Guard troops into Portland, Oregon, sparking a state lawsuit. Social media, Trump portrayed Portland as a war-ravaged city overtaken by radicals. He framed his troop deployment as rescuing a fallen city, posting images of Guard vehicles with captions like, "Law and order restored." What it means, a test of federal power. By framing Portland as lost territory, Trump justifies extraordinary federal intervention. This is not just a local fight, it's a blueprint for how he may use force in other states. Sunday, September 28, 2025. Trump action announced he would personally address U.S. military leaders at Quantico. Released a video showing off new gold decor in the Oval Office, bragging that world leaders are stunned. Social media posted clips of the Oval Office transformation, calling it the People's House, now finally made great again. He also blasted Oregon's lawsuit, saying states cannot stop the federal government from saving the union. What it means, Trump is blending spectacle and strength. Gold trim in the Oval isn't mere decoration, it's branding, an assertion of imperial presence. The military address signals his direct grip over the armed forces. The combination is designed to project dominance at home and abroad. In closing, and so the week ends with Trump standing tall on stages, both real and symbolic. The United Nations was less about cooperation and more confrontation. The escalator sabotage turned into performance art. Oregon became a test of states versus federal power. The Oval Office became a gilded set piece of his rule. On social media, Trump stayed in his role as provocateur-in-chief, attacking networks, amplifying grievances, casting himself as both savior and victim. Every post, every threat, every flourish was part of a carefully cultivated narrative. The system is corrupt, the elites are weak, and only Trump has the strength to restore order. But the meaning runs deeper. Each week like this shifts the norms further. When media can be threatened into silence, when science can be politicized with a stroke of a pen, when federal troops can be deployed at will, when even the Oval Office becomes a stage set for spectacle, the line between governance and performance blurs. To his supporters, this is proof of leadership. To his critics, it is the march of authoritarianism. For the nation caught in the middle, it is a constant storm, exhausting, polarizing, redefining what is possible and permissible in American power. The question we must ask ourselves is simple: is this sustainable, or is this the slow boiling of a democracy adjusting to a new normal? That's the Trump Report for September 22 through 28, 2025. Thank you again for joining me tonight for the Trump Report on the things that bother me. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel below. Until next time.